Welcome to the Campbells.
It's All Good Podcast.
Welcome to the Campbells. It's All Good Podcast, where our focus is God, healthy marriage, joy, and life. Join us every episode as we share various aspects of healthy relationship goals that we have set for ourselves, provide practical tips for creating the healthy marriage we desire, and how we live life together in God-ordained joy. Jesus, others, yourself. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to episode 5.
Older man.
Younger woman. So, does age impact couples being able to relate to one another fully? Have you guys ever thought about that? Because I know some people rather date somebody their age, somebody rather date or marry somebody older than them, somebody rather date or marry somebody younger than them. So, what's your thoughts? But we're going to tell you ours as well.
So definitely, kind of an age range. I was thinking, no more than three, maybe 4 years older, and definitely no more than 8 years younger.
For me, it was no more than 10 years older and no more than 5 years younger. And so when I think about that age range, the reason why I put that cap is because in my previous life before meeting and marrying Brian, there were people that I dated who were 10 to 15 years older than me. And I thought that that was best for me at the time, only because of the fact that I have always been deemed an old soul. And so older people would tell me that, younger people would tell me that. They would always tell me, you just seem like you've been here way past and beyond your years. And so I thought that that was probably the best for me. And then I was realizing that might not be, because unfortunately, that person just had lived a lot more life than I did. And so that did bring on a lot of differences in a lot of different many areas. And so when Brian and I met, I think when we first met, I thought we were the same age. And so
I don't know how she mixed that up. I don't know where she got that from.
Well, I did. I thought we were the same age, in the same age range. But to come to find out, we have the best number of years between us, the number of completion, 7 years. And it's been, to me, it's been perfect.
Yeah, it definitely has. So, just again, so many stories can go along with this one as well, because as we got to know each other and are just still getting to know each other. But one of the things, there are several areas that we are different. I think to the first time we actually physically met each other. Again, the Arby's, exit 91 in North Carolina. And, we had decided to stop there. She was coming back from Charlotte. I was heading to Charlotte on 85 South. And we decided, to stop there and to actually physically meet.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, I'm going there to meet with a minister friend of mine. And I thought I was looking pretty good. I had on some khaki pants, some khaki shorts. Khaki shorts. Had on my little white polo shirt. And I had on some white Nikes.
Well, hold on. But to your defense, I was looking a hot mess that day to myself, because I was dressed in my workout gear, because I knew once I got home, I wanted to work out after that long drive back, because I knew I probably was going to be tired. So to me, I was looking a hot mess. But keep going.
Yeah, so I had on some white Nikes and everything, and I thought all was well and everything was good. So come to find out, as the relationship developed, and then she's telling me, she was like, you in those dad shoes. And so that was definitely like, what do you mean dad shoes?
And y'all, this is the funniest part, because at one of our very first dates, well, like a date where I had taken Brian, well, I didn't take you, but you took me to a place that was very near and dear to my heart. So it was like one of those infamous parks in Richmond that I love. And so I actually have a picture of us with his dad outfit on and those dad Nikes on.
Yeah, I mean, come on, they're Nikes. I mean, what's the problem? Granted, now they were not Air Force Ones, they were not Jordan, but they were some white Nikes.
With
and
that,
she was
with
like,
that blue swoosh.
And she was like, my dad has a pair just like that. So then I was like, okay, yeah, she got me now. So let me just go ahead and go get me something else. So then that's about, I'll say a
Yeah.
month or so after that, we were at the Nike store, and then we walked out with some much better
And
shoes.
guys, he still has those shoes, and it's been what, 3 years later?
Yeah,
That,
I think I got rid of those
but that
shoes.
that makes me no. I'm talking about
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
new
yeah.
ones.
The new shoes, yeah, still got them.
Yeah, but that makes me feel good, y'all, because that let me know that he cherished something that I got for him. And, it makes me smile because, that was adding on to his new sense of fashion.
Yeah, it's definitely been, a fashion upgrade. Like after the wedding. So now this is funny. So as we were getting ready for the wedding and everything, and packing for the honeymoon and getting all that stuff going, she's like, "So what are you wearing when we go on the honeymoon?" I pulled out, my khaki shorts today. No, you're not wearing that. So to the store we go, and I walked out with a completely new wardrobe, all kinds of
And he
stuff
did.
to
And he
just get
did.
ready. Because I mean, she had stuff planned for the days, what outfit she's gonna do, and this and
Yeah, we
that.
had to coordinate some
Hey,
days.
I was just as simple can be. And she's like, no, not
Yeah,
gonna
but
work.
it all worked out because like I said, we had some coordinated outfits. We had some outfits that didn't coordinate, but he was looking nice. I was looking nice. We had our cute little hubby wifey just married T-shirts and all that. So it definitely worked out for the honeymoon. And like Brian said, since then, I mean, even when we go to an event sometimes and everything, I'm like, babe, what you wearing? And then he'll say to me, find something for your husband.
Yeah,
So
no need to even don't ask if you're not gonna pick it out or we're gonna go and get something. Don't even ask.
yeah, so those easier days for him is when especially when it's a military event, because he can put on one of his uniforms that he has to wear, and then we can head out the door.
Makes it so easy. But one of the things that's definitely funny for us is like when it's time to either get ready for church or for us to go somewhere. I'm getting dressed in one room, she's getting dressed in another room. I don't know what she's wearing. She has no idea what I'm
Mm-hmm.
wearing. And then when we both come out together, somehow the color coordination is there
Yes,
and it's not planned,
it's not
is
playing at
nothing.
all. It
It's
tickles
like
me.
even today, she had on kind of a black and white thing and I had on a gray sweater with the white stripes. Like none of this is planned,
Yeah,
but this is
we
just kind of
coordinated today.
how it goes every single time. Majority of the time you see us together, especially if we're going to an event or something. It's just strange that we somehow kind of coordinate
Yeah.
unless we actually truly need to be, which is very rare that we sit down and be like, okay, we got to wear this. So if I'm wearing this, then you need to be in this. So that we don't do
Well,
that.
you know what I think it is, Brian. I just think when couples are to be together, I just think we just have that like mindedness in that aspect. So we've gotten so used to one another that a lot of times we will coordinate.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll literally pick out the same colors or something in that same color or family of colors, and we'll put it on, and then we look at each other like, hold up, I didn't tell you I was gonna wear this, but we just do it so often. I just think that's what it is. Like, we are one.
Yeah, definitely. Our fashion sense is definitely it's different. It's funny, but it works for
It
us, and
works
that's
for
all
us.
that matters is
I
that
know
it
that's
works
right.
for us.
I know that's right.
So another thing that we're going to talk about, and this one I can talk about all day, our sleep patterns. So obviously, again, 30 years in the Navy, I'm an early riser.
Yes.
Very even on the weekend,
Yes.
I'm up at like 5:30 in the morning. I got the TV on. It's on low because she's still sleeping. But I got the TV on. The dog is looking at me like, really, dude? Like you're in my space and I'm trying to sleep. And it's like, I'm an early riser, whereas she is a night owl.
Yeah, I'm completely opposite you all. Like, I just get that sense of energy, and I'm talking about I could have gotten up at 5:30 because we do get up at 5:30 to pray with one another. But like Brian said, afterwards I go back to sleep because I don't have to get up till a little bit later, and so it's something for me. And I have been like this. I just remember backtracking till probably like teenage years, maybe even earlier, that I just am productive in the evening. By like 9 o'clock, it's like something in my body's like, cuckoo, like wake up. And so, even though I could have been exhausted, I might fall asleep here for like 30 minutes to an hour, but that charges me up, and then I'm ready to roll. And then I'm not going to sleep sometimes, even now, till maybe 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, and still wake up at 5:30. But I am very blessed to be able to go back to sleep for a few hours and then wake back up to start my day. And so definitely that is where we are so different. I have been praying for so long, and I don't even know if you know this, Brian, but I literally have been praying for a long time to become a morning person. I've asked the Lord to help me to develop those patterns.
Pray for her. She's not there yet. She's not there yet.
But what I think he's done for me and is doing for me is that he's allowing me to get up in the morning to honor him, and honor our marriage by praying together. But then also, after I wake up from that second sleep, I'm getting up. It might be a little bit later in the day, but it's still morning, and I'm still able to get into the Word or listen to other things that get me motivated, put on some worship music, things like that. And then, continue throughout my day, especially like mentioning before, being the discipline and the consistent with different things, like working out or just making sure I'm moving, taking the dog out, making my breakfast, things like that, so that I'm productive during my day. Because I remember there was times like during my day, outside of work, I wasn't very productive. I was taking a lot of naps, things like that. And so I think he's learned how to help me balance that out, even with being a night owl.
My early rising started a long time ago. Like my grandfather got up early in the morning, and most of the times he would get me up whenever he was up. Because if he was going somewhere, I wanted to be wherever my grandfather was
Yeah.
at. So I would always be up early in the morning with my granddad. And then when my senior year in high school, well, I started working at McDonald's when I was 15. And my senior year in high school, the delivery truck used to come at 3:30 in the morning on Tuesdays and Sundays. So even in high school, I would go to McDonald's 3:30 in the morning on a Tuesday,
Ooh, that's dedication.
help unload the truck, eat breakfast, and then go to school. And then some days after school, go back and work at McDonald's till 8, 9 o'clock at night. So I've been early riser for so long that most of the times it's very, very rare that my alarm clock goes off. If it does, it scares me. For one, it scares me because I'm like, what is that noise? And then I'm ready. I'm already up, and my day is getting ready to go and get ready to start.
But I actually love that about you, because in my mind, you being an early riser, that brings forth productivity, completing more within your day, just starting your day off in a way where, like I said, we're spending time with the Lord in the morning, and then you're able to get all those things done, like breakfast, and then going to work, and then getting a workout in, or whatever we need to do, and other things that we can do after work hours, entertainment, things like that. So I just feel like you have a lot of things that happen because of being an early riser.
Yeah, so absolutely true. Definitely. So I'm interested to see what will happen after retirement, how that's going to work out. Because every blue moon, I do get to sleep in per se, but that still gets up early, and then I'll like maybe be on my phone for a little bit, and then I'll sometimes doze back off to sleep. But if I'm in the bed after 7 a.m., you might want to check on your boy because something might be wrong, because it's very, very rare that I'm in bed after 7 a.m.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So I think about, having an older man and me being the younger woman. And so I like, even though this might not deal with age so much, but we talked a little bit about this in our last episode about the pickiness, and especially when it comes to foods with Brian, and then me being a food connoisseur, a self-proclaimed food connoisseur. I'm the foodie.
So I got to jump in and say this before we go any further, because I know where she's going to go with this. So we have lots of discussions like, what's for dinner, or let's go out to do this, let's do that. And then it's like, well, have you ever had this?
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't want that. Well, have you ever tried it?
Well, it
Nope.
just happened today.
So exactly.
Yeah, we were out to lunch today, and so it was ironic because last night I literally just asked him, have you ever tried potato soup? I don't know why potato soup came into my mind. I didn't see anything, no commercial, anything like that. But all of a sudden, I just had a taste for potato soup. And so I'm thinking in my mind, how can I make the potato soup how I have it in my mind, how I want to season it, all the different potatoes I want to use, things like that. So where we went for lunch today, they had potato soup. So I jumped right on that. And so when we sat down and eat, and I said, hey, babe, I'm like, you want to try my potato soup? Now, the very first thing he said
Absolutely
was
not.
like,
Nope.
absolutely not.
Nope.
And
nope.
I didn't
Not
even
doing it.
say anything. I didn't use words. I just gave him that look. And y'all know that look. Like, it's like that even though I'm not his mama, but that mama look of like, for real? For real? You
And
know?
I was like, nope, not gonna do it. I don't want it. Not doing it. I'm good.
But the irony was, I didn't say anything today, y'all. He actually said, let me go ahead and try some. And so he actually tried it. And at first, it was so funny because whenever he tries something, because this is how picky he is like a 5-year-old.
The smallest bite
It's
ever.
the smallest bite, but he inspects it. Like, I literally see him look at it like, what's in this? Like, trying to dissect everything that might be in this meal.
Yeah, and there is a process to that. I got to look at it. I got to smell it. I got to see what's going on. And it will be the smallest bite ever. And then if I like it, then just stand by because I'm getting ready to probably finish it off for you. But it was actually good. I mean, if it was good there, then I know that what she's going to make is definitely going to be even better.
Yeah.
But it was actually pretty good.
And that's what I tell him all the time. I'm like, just try it. Just try it. And so, you know, that's funny to me. I mean, I get a kick out of this all the time, just how picky he is, because it reminds me of one of my nieces who is picky like him. And so I always like compare him to her because I'm like, what are we? I mean, she's not 5 anymore now, but she's a little bit older. But you know, it just reminds me of a kid. You know?
Yeah. So when I first met her niece, they were like, "Oh, so you two can be together," because we were chicken fingers, chicken nuggets, and some French fries. We are good to go. We don't need anything else. We are good.
Yes.
Y'all can eat whatever you want. Just get us chicken fingers and some French fries. We are good.
And see, they're the two we put at the kids' table for Thanksgiving. No,
and I'm perfectly okay with that. Grown man sitting over there with her eating, and we're just having a great conversation.
I love it. And so we also want to talk about what's deemed the old school and new school because of the fact that we have this lovely age difference of 7 years.
So for me, the one part that I'm going to talk about is like gospel music. I love gospel music. Grew up in church, sung in church, sing in church, everything. So just gospel music. I'm old school when it comes to gospel music. You give me Clay Evans, you give me James Cleveland, you give me Milton Bronson, you give me Thompson Community Singers. You do all of that. I'm old school. I got you. Then she comes along with contemporary gospel, and I'm like, what? What's going on here?
Yeah, so, I mean, I know some of those artists that he just said, because I listen to them too, because I grew up in the 90s, and I sang in the choir. Shout out to the Spiritual Inspirations of First Baptist Church of Berea, Ohio. And so, when he mentioned Clay, who's it?
Clay Evans.
Clay Evans.
She thought I meant Clay Aikens. That was a whole conversation.
The guy from American Idol, y'all.
Yeah, we get off the podcast and she's like, "Babe, who's Clay Evans?" And I'm like, "You don't know Clay Evans?" And I thought you meant Clay Aikens from American Idol or whatever. I'm like, "No, Clay Evans."
Yes, but I'm more of these days. I mean, I still listen to my 90s gospel, so you know, Kirk Franklin and the Family. When Kirk Franklin came out with the younger group, GA God's. No, that's
God's Property.
God's Property. I'm getting mixed up with Ty Tribbett, his old group. But I'm a Ty Tribbett girly. I love the Clark sisters.
We like Maverick City music.
Yeah,
She's exposed me to that, and I actually like their songs.
I'm a worshiper, so Jordan G. Welch is my girl. So I'm just a mixture of everything, where he definitely likes that old school gospel. And there's nothing wrong with that, because at the end of the day, we're all, we're worshiping the Lord together, right? But that's just one area where I think about like the old school, new school. Sometimes it could be flipped in a sense when because I am a movie girly, and I'm definitely getting him more into movies and series and things like that. So I'll mention some movies from back in the day, and sometimes he's looking at me like, "What?" But he can tell me about some stuff going on now that I might not be into because I'm watching the old school stuff. So sometimes the roles reverse just depending on what it is. But definitely, I don't think that our age difference ever is like a big factor.
Yeah, I absolutely can tell you current news. If you want to know current news and what's going on, don't ask Linnea. You need to talk to me because she will have no idea like any of that. She's not a news person.
No.
She's not into that. She just kind of gets it on her phone, and they're only going to give you the breaking news. But I can kind of tell you what everything's talking about on CNN. I can tell you the local news. I can tell you what's going on. She's like, I got nothing.
Yeah, and that's okay because that's why I have this the greatest husband ever that I need to get that information from because he's gonna make sure that we're straight. So I love that for him, me, and for us.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I don't think that that age difference that we have, really affects us because we're still moving and shaking. We're still doing the things that we're called to do. We're doing the things that we love to do together. We're about to step into those different things because just life is like we said is going to shift for us a little bit, and so we also look at the things that we do alike.
And we've even done some TikTok videos with me dancing, and that
Oh
right there is
yeah.
funny enough.
I forgot
Enough
about that.
said. That was we must have recorded that 10 times because I was off. I was all over the place. I was going left when I should have went right,
It's okay,
and but
baby.
we
It's
had fun
okay.
doing it.
Yes, and that's the thing that we have fun together. And so, like I was saying, there's also the things that we like to do together. And the things that we're just alike in. So we definitely are in a place and just have always been just level headed adults, meaning that, we're going to take care of business. We're going to stand on business, meaning that we're going to make sure that we're doing everything possible that we need to do to have the life that, we want to live together. Of course, we're going to make mistakes. Of course, he's gonna do something that I'm like, oh, I don't agree with, or I might do something he's like, oh, I don't agree. But then again, we come back together and just completely stay level-headed about whatever those situations are, and go back to having those conversations, like we said. So that's something that we definitely are alike in, no matter what the age is.
Getting angry, getting frustrated, getting mad is not going to solve the problem.
Yeah.
There's a saying that I remember hearing a couple of commands ago. The problem that you don't deal with, if you put it in the corner, it doesn't go away. It just
Mm-hmm.
goes in the corner, it feeds itself, and it gets bigger. Eventually,
Yeah.
you're going to have to face that problem. So that's important. You just got to stay level-headed, and then just again go back to processing versus overthinking. Sit down, have that conversation, and process through whatever the situation may be.
Yeah, you know what just came to my mind, babe? It was a song. When I think about people think that, when a woman's with the older man and you're the younger woman, you're not my daddy, you're my man. So a lot of people think because when a woman's with the older man, like he's gonna act like the daddy and I'm gonna be like the daughter. And so that just made me chuckle because it's definitely not like that. We'll joke around and I'm like, you're not my daddy. My daddy's name is such and such and such and such.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun with that, and it's just a whole lots of laughs, a whole lot of laughs.
It is. It
But
is.
it's definitely all in love, and we
Mm-hmm.
just enjoy and having
Yeah,
that time together.
we do. We do.
So next, we just kind of talk about like career driven, to being passionate about things that excite us, and being able to use our God given purpose. So
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on that, Linnea?
Well, I just think that, you're coming up on 30 years in the Navy. I have 21 years in education. And so we definitely have been career driven, to be in these professions as long as we have. But I think, and it's not even that I think I know, is that we're shifting. And that's what life is all about anyway, because some people stay in careers for, 20, 30, 40 years. And some people stay in careers where it was only 15 years and then they, left that career to step out on faith to do other things. And that's what, we're headed into. We're stepping out in faith to do those things that we've always had passions for. This podcast is that very thing, because we're coming to you because we want to share a little bit of our lives, but we also want to encourage you, and not only just encourage you, just to say be encouraged, but we want to, number one, encourage everybody in the Lord, because that He is who has gotten us this far. He is the reason why we have come together, and that we've come together to, speak out in this platform. Also, we know that, we want to be able to, show people that marriage is fun. Marriage is, yes, work, but it's a good work. It's a work that when we work together, and even in differences and similarities, that we can encourage somebody else and let them know that, marriage is a great thing.
Yeah, teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Amen.
So if someone from the outside looks in and sees all the differences, there's the age difference, there's the foodie versus the guy who's very regimented in what he eats. All these other differences that we've discussed, since we've started this, is some would probably wonder, like, how or why are you two together?
Yeah.
Well, when you get beyond all of that, we truly do love each other, and we truly do love being around each other.
Yes.
And spending time together. And it can be simple things. Not everything we do costs us money.
Yeah.
We can go walk in the park, sit on the bench, and just laugh and have a good time and have good conversation and people watch. Just watching people sometimes can be funny.
Yes.
And, watching nature and things like that, and just have a good time and truly enjoy each other.
We get a kick out of just watching our dog. Like,
yeah, our dog, that's a whole nother subject.
We might have to have an episode about our dog.
Yeah, that guy's something. He's a piece of work.
He is. But really, it's all about the obedience and what we are purposed to do in this life. And that's where we're headed now. We are just focused on, God, show us how we can be obedient to what you called us to do, what you put into us. And we will be faithful in doing that. And that is what we're doing now. We're being faithful to what He called us to. Being transparent, it took us a minute. Even when we had we had purchased the things that we needed to put this together. But we were procrastinating. We were not doing what we needed to do. We were letting other things, hone in on that. And honestly, life was lifing for us as well too. So it was like a mixture of things. But what we all know is that even when life is lifing, even when we try to step in and we try to do it our way, God is still guiding. And what He's going to do is He's going to continue to stay on us to make sure that we do it. Now, He's going to be a gentleman and back off sometimes, but He's also going to, come back and come back around and get us all the way together. And when He usually does that, we don't like it. And I know in this instance, He came to me and was like, y'all gonna do this. And then and He's like, and you're going to let Brian know we're doing this, and that's sometimes how it happens, because sometimes I'm the one that's leading and saying, Brian, the Lord is telling me that this is what we need to do. And then sometimes it's Brian where he's leading, where the Lord is telling him something that we have to do. So
and it is definitely that, because we had this equipment like a year ago.
Yeah.
That's how long we've had this stuff, for over a year. We started doing some stuff in the house at that time, and we just kind of like didn't go forward through it.
Yeah.
Lots of things were going on, just lots of life things, right? So for whatever, and using some of those things as an excuse not to move forward. But we have been praying and just thinking about what's our next move and some things that we want to do. So we just felt like now, this is the time. Now it's time to move. It's time to get some things done and stop procrastinating. Because typically what happens if one of us procrastinates, the other one falls into procrastination. Because if I come home and don't want to go to the gym, 9 times out of 10, Lannia's not going to the gym that day either. Well, I'll just stay at home too. So we have to break that mindset. And now that we're doing this, I look forward to it.
Me
These,
too.
they, not that they were hard, but these are just becoming so much easier, and there's so much joy in doing these, and just having these conversations, which I think can possibly bless somebody. So
Yeah.
just it's
And
just
that's the
been such a
goal.
blessing.
And that's the goal. And we just, the good thing is that as you were speaking, Brian, what came to my mind was it still goes back to the oneness, the partnership. The very thing that we said on our wedding day about being a three-strand cord. And so we know that God is the head, and then it's Brian, and then myself, and that all three of us together, we're all one.
Yeah.
And so that's the beauty of this. So when we are, lacking, even as one, we got to find some way to get back up. When we are at what's deemed the top, we got to keep pushing each other to get, just keep climbing. So it's definitely like you said, and it's so funny you said that because that's all I used in teaching was teamwork makes the dream work. But it definitely does. We're a team, we're a partnership, and we're definitely partnering with the Lord as we go through this journey, as we go through our life together, as we just do everything that we are called to do and that comes in our way, because we want to do everything in excellence, not per se perfection, but in excellence, because we want the Lord to just say, thank you for doing what I've asked you to do.
So one thing I want to share before we kind of end here. So one of the things that I have in my notes is when you want to get all the way up, you have to praise your way up.
Yeah,
And I
so
recently
good.
heard that, and that was like something I wrote down because I was like, that's sometimes what it takes. Because,
Hmm.
when things happen in life and you're going through, you're going to get down. That's just how it
Yeah,
works. But you have to praise and turn things around for yourself to get out of those situations. So
so
that's just
good.
something to keep in mind.
It is. So we thank you all yet again for tuning in. We hope that episode 5 blessed you. If you're that person who desires to, be with somebody, marry somebody who's older or younger, we just are believing for you and with you that it's the person that God led you to, and that you guys will have a blessed relationship, blessed marriage, and just blessed family, blessed everything. So we just yet again thank you. We'll see you, or you'll hear from us the next time.
Thanks a lot. Have a great day.